It's springtime here in Kentucky, so why not visit one of Kentucky Farm Bureau's certified roadside markets like Bywater Farms and Greenhouse here in Georgetown, Kentucky.
We grew up on this farm when Dad bought it in 1959, and I was just a little kid at that point, and there was 9 children in the family. And so Dad had tobacco, corn, but then we were always into produce. We always raised produce. We always had 40, 50 acres of produce. And so as time went on, we developed it, and our produce end got extremely big. And it kind of just developed its own life, because in 1995, we started something that kind of went along even bigger, and that was our autumn activities. The name Bywater Farm comes from old papers we found with the farm after Dad bought it in 1959. So these papers are dated back like 1930s. And the owner at that time had talked about the 2 creeks in front of the farm. And he had kind of put together the name Bywater. And so we kind of said, okay, it sounds pretty good. So that's what we went with. So we have about 4 acres worth of greenhouses here on the farm. And we also grow all kinds of flowers. We're a wholesaler as well as a retailer. We ship throughout Kentucky and up into Ohio. But we also have our own stores that we sell to, our own regional stores, as well as the farm market on the farm. That takes up all the spring activity here. It's a bunch of annuals, you know, your geraniums, petunias, and marigolds, and all that sort of stuff, as well as you can see the hanging baskets behind me. But then we also do fresh produce in the farm, which we sell at our farm store. To me, the remarks by our customers that praise our plants and produce and all the fun that they've had on the farm, it is more of a humbling experience to me, because I think I'm not doing well enough, but they say I'm doing fantastic, and I'm after that ultimate perfect crop, and so it's a very humbling effect to me. I think it's very worthwhile to be part of the Farm Bureau roadside markets. In fact, I'm going to stay a member, and I'll recommend anybody become a member of it.
Kentucky Farm Bureau's 8th annual John C. Hendricks Beef Tour went south with stops in farms and other ag-related facilities in Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina. The tour has taken hundreds of Kentuckians throughout the country to look at cattle operations, beef industry facilities, and much more.
We think it's important because they're learning about Kentucky and Kentucky's agriculture, and that's something that a lot of them don't have any experience with or any knowledge about, and so they get to come and learn about a big part of our state.
Each year, 3rd graders of Scott County have an opportunity to learn about agriculture's past and present during Ag Adventure Day. The 4th edition was held last month at the Kentucky Horse Park's All-Tech Arena, where some 800 3rd graders from 6 schools rotated to 18 workstations for an educational and fun-filled experience.
It was really a way for us to interact with our teachers, with with our educational system, and just kind of help the students in our county understand about agriculture, where their food comes from, how agriculture interacts with the community. Scott County has been a rapidly growing community. It wasn't very many years ago. This would have, the 3rd grade class might have been 250 students, and so we've nearly tripled in size probably in the past 10 years. We've received nothing but positive comments from the teachers and the school board and the parents that are here involved. It's one of the things that we feel like is one of the most important things we do as a County Farm Bureau to help our community.
Kentucky Farm Bureau's television program, Bluegrass and Backroads, makes a special salute to our military veterans this month. A tribute episode featuring stories by 4 soldiers honor those who served our country in various parts of the world during different periods of conflict. First, we visit with two World War II veterans, Chuck Taylor and Thomas Alvis. Mr. Taylor was a naval dive bomber pilot on the USS Enterprise aircraft carrier, while Mr. Alvis was an Army foot soldier that fought in the Solomon Islands. Next, we talked with Vance Houston, who was a Marine helicopter pilot during the Vietnam War. He also piloted the Air Force One helicopter for both President Kennedy and President Johnson. Finally, we traveled to Frankfurt to talk with Major Bobby Mays, a Kentucky Army National Guard soldier who was in the Afghanistan War. There, she taught farming to Afghan women. All four of these interviews were fascinating, so please watch KET and RFD TV the week of May 25th. Now a message from Dan Smaldone on teen driving.
It's May in Kentucky, and students across the Commonwealth are eager for the end of another school year. Thousands of teenage drivers are busy on the roads, headed toward prom, graduation ceremonies, or even just that new part-time job. With so much activity on the horizon for teen drivers, it is also important to point out that Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance claims data says this is one of the busiest months of the year for accidents among teenage motorists in Kentucky. Unfortunately, teen drivers also have a greater tendency to take risks when behind the wheel. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, compared with other age groups, teens have the lowest rate of seatbelt use. In 2011, only 54% of high school students reported they always wear a seatbelt when riding with someone else. Additionally, teens are more likely to speed and allow less distance between vehicles. Among male drivers 15 to 20 years old who were involved in fatal crashes in 2010, 39% were speeding at the time of the crash, and 25% had been drinking. As for who is the better driver, well, sorry guys, but the ladies have it. Males aged 16 to 19 are almost twice as likely to have an accident as their female counterparts. Also in the high-risk category are teens driving with other teen passengers and newly licensed teens. Driver knowledge, experience, and situational awareness are all key to improving these accident trends, but parental involvement can also have a very positive influence on the effectiveness and safety of teenage driving.
We know that speed and distractions and not wearing your seatbelt are some of the major contributing factors to deaths and serious injuries in teen driving. Please use your best judgment and do not use any distractions, drive slow, and make sure you always wear your seatbelt. Wearing your seatbelt is one of the most simple things that you can do to save your life. Teens, we know that a lot of times you all have cell phones and smartphones in your vehicles. Texting is a big issue. It's not as simple as texting and driving though. Any distraction is something that could cause you to have a collision. Something like putting makeup on, other friends in the vehicles, changing the radio station, anything like that can take your attention off driving. And if you're not focused on driving, that's when you'll be in a collision. Young drivers tend to be inexperienced and have many distractions in their vehicles. So law enforcement will be paying attention for young drivers to make sure that they're exhibiting good driving behaviors.
While accidents can occur at any time and for any number of reasons, Kentucky Farm Bureau encourages parents of teens to be mindful of May's trend in increased teen accident frequency. Take the steps necessary to help teens understand the rules of the road and be safety conscious whenever they sit in the driver's seat.
Now for our calendar of coming events. The State FFA Convention is June 11th through the 13th. The Regional Teacher Workshops start June 17th in Lake Barclay, June 18th in Lucas, June 19th in Lexington, and June 20th in Louisville. We'd like to thank the folks here at Bywater Farm and Greenhouse for their hospitality. We'll see you next time.